Hey friends, I'm back, and I have a collection of some horror comics that I went and got out of Choice Stuff, and he's read a lot of these, and I think I'm going to try and read some. I can go through comics pretty quick. There's some that he said I probably wouldn't like, so I'll probably just skip over those. But anyway, we have this. This is pretty recent, and you can tell because of this on the back. It's the How to Train Your Dragon folks, and it's not like the first or second movie. It looks like it's a new series on the Cartoon Network, but it's an Archie double digest that's Halloween themed, so that looks fun. And this is one Choice that I probably like. He said he really liked this, and it's Chaos on the Edge Comics, The Haunted. That's the first issue. Really cool looking artwork. I really like this second cover, number 2. Okay, that is really cool. Making some great faces here in the background. Ew. That's cool. And looks like this is another number 1. But Troy said these were really good, that he really liked these, so I'll definitely give these a try. And I want to read these because we recently watched this movie with the boys, and it's a fun movie. I think that it's going to have to become like an October Halloween tradition to watch Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Isn't she great? Like, I mean, I could never wear something like that in real life, but we all kind of want to look like that. She looks fantastic. I really like this cover. This would make an awesome t-shirt. Somebody make it. With the Japanese, I guess, writing and everything. That would make just the coolest t-shirt. And then we have this Halloween Eve. Seems like I may have read this, but you know, I forget most things instantly. This was done by Image Comics. But it looks cool. I don't know the character, but I already love her because she just looks awesome. To ones that Troy said I probably would not like, so I'll skip over these, but they have really fun covers. It almost looks like, I don't know, it kind of looks like Jerry Curl and Michael Jackson on the cover. I know that's not who that is, but anyways. Chaos Comics, Evil Ernie. I think it's really cool. Like, someone is a good artist if they make just black and white look good. If that looks good. Oh, I love this. How cool is that cover? Lady Death. She is so cool. Like the ultimate pale chick. I'll have to ask about these because I think Lady Death is awesome. She looks so cool. That's a great picture. The Reckoning Revised. Nightmare Theater. This is a cool cover. Oops. Terrifying. It's like I noticed after I turned it around to you guys that there's a second one of these big-headed octopus things. Brian Pulido's Killer Elves. or Killer Gnomes. Man, I can read. I know how to read, and I said elves, but it's Killer Gnomes.
Hey, I was in the other room watching football, but that's Brian Pulido.
Oh.
How you say that?
Sorry.
And these
I promise I know how to read.
are wonderful. Evil Ernie. If anybody was around when these were coming out, this was the greatest time ever to be a comic book fan. Image had just hit hard. Marvel was coming out with some great stuff. At the time, DC was trying to play catch up. Spawn was out. It was a beautiful time to be a comic book fan and stuff. But all of these are some of my favorites.
Ooh, show the back of that one too.
When I think of old comics, these are what I think of.
Doesn't she look awesome?
Beautiful books.
Yeah, I showed one picture.
Every page looks like it could be an album cover.
It's super colorful.
You know? Like back in these days also you'd go, you know, to Tape Town or whatever it was, and there'd be a record town. There was one called Tape World in the mall, Tape World. But they would have, you know, you'd go into Tape World and there'd be some new band called like, I don't know, Visceral Death, and it would be, they'd have an album cover like that. Just a magical time.
This kind of looks like, the way the lady looks, it makes me think of the True Crime.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like a True Crime cover girl.
But Brian Pulido did Chaos Comics. And in these books, I'm sure if I dug these open, or got them going, but they used to have all these awesome parties, and they would take pictures at their parties, you know? So they'd all be all done up, and I guess they were kind of like little conventions or something. I used to think, man, Chaos has got to be one of the coolest places in the world to work at, because it was just this thrash metal kind of place. You know what I mean? It was, see, Youth Gone Wild came out, let's see, 1991 through April 1992. That's beautiful. Beautiful time to be into it. But Pulido would have these pictures inside the books of these parties they would be having. You know, it'd be in the back. And just like it was a community, you know. But Chaos actually closed, and he sold off a lot of these characters. Except for Lady Death, he still does like Kickstarters for it. And I have a few of those somewhere, but I've never been able to really get back going into that. Maybe one day. But this, The Haunted, you already talked about this?
Yeah, I showed the covers. But
this was also a Chaos book, and it was great. And this would be a perfect movie. You know, I think it's 4 or 5. I think they did eventually show back up somewhere else. You know, 1, that's 4, and then 5. They did eventually show back up somewhere else, but I didn't get any of those either. It doesn't feel right with it not being a Chaos book. So, yeah, I felt like I said, it's one of those things you were, like back in the old days, the Mighty Marvel Marching Society, I was a Chaos kid. You know, I definitely thought I was just metal, you know. That's all that that was my identity back then, you know. And look back at me now and I was just a big nerd, but I didn't know that.
I want to show these. These are beautiful. Like, these would make the most awesome posters for a room. So if you want to talk about them, and I'll hold them up. Okay. And the backs of them are just as awesome.
Yeah, Rafael Navarro. I'm not going to try to say the name because I know that I can't. But it's
Sambulo?
Yeah. So I looked that up before. It's something to do with sleep or nightmare. I'll look it
Oh,
up.
and it's just black and white newsprint on the inside.
Yeah.
So that's just really awesome that, you know, like, I mean, like these covers are like true artwork. I mean, that is amazing.
Okay, sleepwalking. So sonambulism is sleepwalking.
Like the front covers are really cool, but it's the back covers that are just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that is fantastic.
We had, if you go back and watch Jody's old video where she's talking about wrestling books, we have an art book by Rafael Navarro, and it's beautiful. It's just full of this kind of stuff. He does a lot of luchadors in suits, which is, you know, that
Sleep of the Just.
Yeah, some you know, superheroes, luchador mask with a suit on. That could be its own genre, you know.
Now this cover on the back one, on this one, it looks like
Sonambulo. So listen here.
Sonambulo.
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 Wouldn't that make just an incredible tattoo? That looks like a tattoo. You know, like I could see that as a tattoo. I hope it's a skeleton with hair. This one, the back cover on this one is not great, but what if?
Looks like he's got a kidney infection.
He has a lot of infection. He just looks like an infection.
Right here. I'm gonna get that looked at.
He has like an extra face. But the rest of them, the back covers are really awesome. Whoa, I've been sick.
What I might be mistaken about this too. I've been out of the game for a while, but had 1, 2, and 3, and this guy's whole thing is he's a private detective, you know, that people come and find, and what he can do is he can see into people's heads. So he'll grab you and say, tell me your dreams, and he can see into your mind, and he'll piece together, you know, what's going on that way.
So these back covers are probably things that he saw
yeah,
in
those are
people's
like
minds.
in people's, yeah.
Cool.
And but they're kind of hard to find. I had to work hard to get these. And this one is part 1 of a 3-part series. And as far as I know, they've never made 2 and 3. But the 1, 2, 3, and then Ghost of a Chance, those are complete, and they're all really good. But I need to look it up. They might have finished 2 and 3 since then. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then I've actually read some of these, and I cannot believe that these were like marketed.
Yeah.
Some of these were marketed to kids.
Everybody's seen these. Most people that would look at this channel have seen these, but the covers are still crazy to me. Came out in, legendary 50s. I mean, these are all reprints. I don't have any originals. But these stories still stand up.
Yeah.
So, the Vault of Horror. I read all these working at my old job. I mentioned it before. Working night shift at my old job, I'd sit in a building all by myself all night. And that's what I did. And one time a guy came walking in, you know, and he caught me off guard. And I was just like, whoa, whoa. He was like, what are you looking at? And I showed him. And he tried to act like, oh, that's so silly. That's so silly. And then he started talking, and he actually knew all about them because he had read them his whole life. So he tried to act like he was too cool at first, but then I was like, you know more about this than I do. Yeah, look at that.
That's awful.
Take that to your mom and be like, Mom, would you buy me this? In the 50s, they would. I think every time you ever see anything about the Dr. Frederick Wortham, who attacked comics and made comics cower, got a lot of like kind of what's happening today. I don't know why comics seem to be the first to bow down to any social pressure. And because in the 50s, comics bowed down to so much social pressure and started to censor themselves so heavily that they missed out on all that counterculture and rock music, you know, Elvis, all that stuff was hitting. So music took full advantage of the new landscape, you know, where comics just instantly cowered down and did whatever they were told, you know. So they missed out on that whole thing, and could have really changed the image of comics from being, you know, looked at as it was through the 60s, 70s, and 80s to being something that people look back on the same way they look back on the Doors, you know, or the, what's her name, Black Sabbath, you know. Whoa.
What's your name?
I think Brody just had a nightmare. That was his tail hitting the wall. But, or he's got, or he really loves Black Sabbath. I don't know. But this is, whenever they talk about Frederick Wortham, they always show this cover. You know, there was an Edge at one time, you know. So,
Yeah, those guys were
that was a big one.
pushing things to put that out, and
yeah, pushing the envelope. That's what America does. You know, that's what we've always done. You know, we've always been one to go against what anybody tells us to do.
wait, I mean, this one's really terrible. They're like they're lynching someone. It's like a mob.
Yeah, got the overalls. Overalls and a shotgun.
Yeah, they must be hillbillies.
Yeah, overalls and a shotgun replaced the pitchforks at one point.
Ooh, I just thought that song. What's that song? Wishing well.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of horror magazines. We'll show those in another video because there are a lot of them. And in the meantime, I'll try and take a break from playing Sega Heroes and read some of these.
Yeah, NBA Jams. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
NBA Jams and Mega Man. And I'm terrible at both, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, anything you can do with your kids. And that's what those are for.
Halloween. I think we're going to do, or you're going to do a magazine thing.
Yeah, I'm going to do a magazine thing, and then I want to do another video and show all of my Tolkien books.
Yep.
And I'll probably do that after Tuesday when I go to Costco and get the Tolkien Encyclopedia by David Day, because I have the dictionary and like 2 other things, but I don't have that one, and the ones I have are smaller. That encyclopedia is a little bit bigger, so I need that.
Yep.
Gotta have it.
Yep.
So anyway, not too exciting. Not a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Cooked a bunch of cookies today, and they'll probably be gone by tomorrow.
Evil Ernie. This guy's wonderful. He's got a button right there. That button's name is Smiley. And he talks and tells Ernie evil things to do.
Like Harley Quinn and her beaver.
Yeah.
New 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, well, thank y'all for watching, and I'll try and get the video of the magazines up this week. Thank you for watching.